There comes a time in most homeowners' lives, if they have a wooden fence, that you look outside and you realize it's looking a little bit gray, it's looking kind of old, maybe feeling kind of dingy, and you might be thinking that you need to replace that old wooden fence. But before you do that, let me show you something. So right here, I have some wood that's even older than this fence right here. This came from a fence that was torn down and thrown away. The homeowner decided to completely scrap it and go with a new fence. They didn't think that there was any life left in this wood. But I'm going to show you today how you can actually bring new life to wood that's even this old, and maybe you don't have to replace that fence after all. The first step in the process is getting some of this gray out of the old wood. Now, how I'm going to do that is by using a bleach, water, and a little bit of dish soap mixture. Now, I recommend you start with a 3 parts water, 1 part bleach mixture, and then see how the wood reacts to it. This wood is pretty old, and so I'm using a bit of a stronger mixture than that, but that's a good place to start with, and then, like I said, you can always go stronger with the mixture once you see how the wood is reacting to it. So, I'm gonna get to it. I'm going to apply the mixture with this pump-up sprayer right here. Now I wanted to make a quick note, and that is that if you are doing an entire fence, you're going all the way up to the top, if you're going to be spraying above your head, you're going to be spraying a lot of this mixture, make sure you have the proper safety gear. You need a face mask, glasses, gloves. You don't want the bleach getting on your clothes, on your skin. You don't want to be breathing it in. So make sure you have all of that. I'm doing a much smaller amount of wood here. I'm not going to be spraying above my head, so I'm not wearing the mask and the glasses. I am still wearing the gloves because I don't want to get this mixture onto my hands. But having said that, let's get to the wood. As you can see, the color difference in this wood is pretty dramatic, and if you have a fence that's a bit younger than this wood, the change should be even more dramatic. Now the next step in this process is to take a hose, rinse off the wood, and then I'm going to flip it all over, do the same thing on the other side. As you can see, this wood already looks totally different than it did just a few minutes ago. Now the next step in this process is to let the wood dry out completely. Now this can take a couple of days, but since this is television, we're not going to make you wait that long. Alright, the wood is all dry. It has been a couple of days. Now it's really important to make sure that the wood really does get completely dry before this next step. As you can see, it even lightened up more than it had before, so I'm really excited about how this is going to look. Now the next step in this process, right here, Ready Seal Stain and Sealer. The stain is going to make the wood back there look really, really good. I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. But the sealer, that's the really important thing. It's going to greatly extend the life of the wood. So, let's get to it. When I started this project, I referenced this fence right here as an example of a fence that was getting kind of old. It's gray, and people might think that now they should consider replacing it. But it wasn't anywhere near as bad as the wood that I was going to try to revive. Let me show you what that old wood looks like now that it's all done. I had no idea how good this wood was going to look when I got started, but let me tell you, I am incredibly, incredibly impressed. So if you have a fence that's looking kind of like this and you're thinking maybe I should replace it, the first thing you need to think about doing is reviving it with Ready Seal.